G'day and salutations. Today's briefing, Australia's Armoured Fist. What will the Armoured Combined Arms Brigade look like? Now, before starting, I would want to thank all of those who have subscribed, having now reached the dizzy heights of 4,000. Onward and upward. As a result of the Defence Strategic Review, I see separate briefing link below, the Australian Army is to be transformed and optimised for littoral manoeuvre operations by sea, land and air from Australia. The Army's combat brigades will be re-rolled and select capabilities postured in Northern Australia. The force structure will change from one of three broadly equivalent brigades to one where each of three regular brigades are to have a different focus. One of the brigades is to be an Armoured Combined Arms formation. This briefing will look at the main armoured combat vehicles that will be part of the brigade, consider possible brigade structures, and suggest where the brigade might be located. The first of the new vehicles to equip this brigade is the Rheinmetall Boxer, which is replacing the ASLAV in the reconnaissance role. The Boxer Reconnaissance Vehicle, or CRV's, turret mounts a Rheinmetall 30mm cannon and a 7.62mm coaxial machine gun. A remote weapon station is also mounted on the turret roof and can be integrated with a range of weapons, including 7.62 or 12.7mm machine gun or an automatic grenade launcher. It is also fitted with Spike anti-tank guided missiles. Baseline production for the Boxer meets Stannag Level 4 requirements, providing all-round protection against 14.5mm rounds at 200 metres and 155mm artillery round high explosive bursts at 30 metres. It can be fitted with oblique armour, increasing protection to an unknown level. The Iron Fist active protection system is also fitted. The 133 Boxer CRVs to enter Australian service will be joined by engineer, command and control, joint fires with mast-mounted lasers or radars, and recovery variants. It is important to note that the Boxer is significantly larger in physical dimensions and significantly heavier than the ASLAV. But with this comes significantly greater capabilities. While not exactly new, the Army is also in the process of bringing into service 75 M1A2 SEPV3 tanks, an increase in both the number and capability over the original 59 M1A1s. Improvements include a low-profile remotely operated weapon station, trophy active protection system, next-generation armour package, and an auxiliary power unit under armour to run electronics while stationary instead of using the engine. There will also be new second-generation thermal optics for both the gunner's sight and the commander's independent sight. Linked to the introduction of the new M1A2s is the M1150 assault breacher vehicle, of which 29 are to be procured. They are equipped with a full-width mine plough and two turret-mounted linear demolition charges. We should expect to see them included in the new brigade. As discussed in a previous briefing linked below, the Army will introduce an infantry fighting vehicle, or IFV, for the first time in 2027 by way of 129 AS-21 Redbacks. It should be noted that the introduction of a modern IFV for Australia will lead to a doctrinal change for the Army, as the IFV can be used in ways that the M113 APC could not. The Redbacks turret mounts a 30mm cannon and 7.62 coaxial machine gun. A remote weapon station is also mounted on the turret roof and can be integrated with a 7.62 or 12.7mm machine gun or an automatic grenade launcher. It is also fitted with Spike anti-tank guided missiles. Protection for the Redback meets Stannag Level 6 requirements, providing frontal protection against 30mm APFSDS rounds at 500 metres across the frontal arc and 155mm high explosive artillery burst rounds at 10 metres. It can also be fitted with the Iron Fist active protection system. However, there will only be enough Redbacks to equip one Mechanised Infantry battalion, together with training and attrition reserve vehicles. Another new capability for the Army is that of self-propelled artillery. The Army is set to bring into service the Korean-designed AS-9 Huntsman, which is armed with a 155mm gun at 52 calibers in length, capable of firing out to a maximum range of 54 kilometres and carrying 48 rounds. Australia has cancelled the program for additional AS-9 Huntsmans to add to the original 30 ordered. As a result, there will only be enough AS-9s to equip one artillery regiment. Together with the AS-9 is the AS-10 Armoured Ammunition Resupply Vehicle, which can automatically transfer ammunition to the AS-9 with all crew under armour. The AS-10 can carry 104 105mm rounds and can transfer ammunition at a rate of 12 rounds per minute. Given the government's statement of increasing land force capabilities in Northern Australia, and that the force needs to be able to self-deploy from Darwin to Townsville via amphibious craft, it is more likely that Darwin will be the location for the Armored Combined Arms Brigade, as Townsville will likely host lighter formations. See separate briefing link below. The new amphibious vessels that are replacing the landing ship tanks and landing craft mediums will be large enough to operate independently from the Canberra-class landing helicopter docks, and to be able to carry everything up to and including a tank and other equipment the Army will bring into service. The intention is to launch the vessels from Darwin and Townsville, projecting out into the region. It is likely these vessels, rather than the LHDs, will be the primary movers of the Armoured Combined Arms Brigade. These vessels will be the subject of a future briefing. A possible organisation of the brigade is as follows, and I'll focus on the manoeuvre elements, noting the brigade will also include other critical formations including engineers, signals and surface support. We should expect to see the new self-propelled guns as the artillery component of this brigade, perhaps converting the 1st Brigade's 8th 12th Regiment, which should comprise 3 batteries. It should also include the sole AS-21 Redback equipped Mechanised Infantry Battalion, perhaps the 5th Battalion, which is currently located in Darwin. The brigade could include a 2nd Infantry Battalion, likely to be the 7th Battalion, which would need to relocate to Darwin. Should this happen, then it might be the battalion that is equipped with the Redbacks and not the 5th Battalion. But there will be only one of these as a mechanised infantry battalion. If the brigade has 2 infantry battalions, its 3rd manoeuvre unit is likely to be an armoured cavalry regiment, consisting of an armoured squadron with the new M1A2 ZV3 tanks, a reconnaissance squadron with the new Boxer CRVs, and likely an APC squadron, as per the Australian Aid Memoir 2014 structure. An appropriately sized APC squadron could provide protected lift for a company battle group of, say, around 150 troops. However, such a unit would need to be equipped with either an APC version of the Boxer or the AS-21 Redback. Equipping this brigade with either Bushmasters or M113s would be operationally unwise. An alternate structure of this brigade is as follows. As with the previous example, the brigade includes both the new AS-9 self-propelled guns in the artillery regiment and the AS-21 Redback infantry fighting vehicles in the Mechanised Infantry Battalion. In this example, there is no 2nd Infantry Battalion. Instead, the sole Mechanised Infantry Battalion is joined by a full armoured regiment, much like an earlier iteration of the 1st Armoured Regiment with 3 tank squadrons. The 3rd manoeuvre unit would be a full cavalry regiment, much like an earlier iteration of the 2nd Cavalry Regiment with 3 reconnaissance squadrons. Now, this version has half the infantry force of the previous example, but 3 times the tanks and 3 times the reconnaissance vehicles, with all manoeuvre units having high mobility and being well protected. This could provide 3 equally equipped armoured regiment or battalion sized battle groups. In summary, the Australian Government has stated that the single Armoured Combined Arms Brigade must be able to meet the most demanding land challenges in the region. The introduction of highly capable modern armoured vehicles into service, as outlined in this briefing, should provide the core elements to achieve this objective. However, any weak links within the brigade or related capabilities, including brigade structure, landing craft or air defence for example, would likely be exploited by an adversary. The quality is there, is the quantity. As a final note, might we see some ASLABs remain in service once the boxes are fully delivered? That concludes today's briefing. Thank you for watching. Happy to take suggestions for future briefings from subscribers, so please subscribe, like and share. Until next time, Vale de Cero.